Bonjour la classe. Aujourd'hui, c'est mercredi le 5 mai et aujourd'hui, nous allons étudier le verbe aller. Aller. So this verb aller is not new. It is something you've seen pretty much since the first month of you studying French. But today we're going to look a little bit more in detail at understanding how to use the verb aller, what it means, how you use it, so you can be a little bit more confident in writing and speaking using this verb. Okay, so there's a little grammar point based on something that you've already seen, but some points will be familiar and some points might be a little bit new. So today is the day to be taking down some notes as I go through this PowerPoint. You can pause as you need to. You can follow along with me. You can speak back to me. You can repeat back as I'm speaking the French and the pronunciation. You can, in the comfort and privacy of your own home, repeat back after me. As we go through then, take notes, and you can use those notes for the quick quiz that's at the end. Or you can challenge yourself and put those notes to one side and try and do the quiz without. Up to you, I don't mind. Okay, let's go. So, aller, what does this verb aller mean? If I was in class right now, I would ask you to turn to a partner, 30 seconds, tell them what do you think the verb aller means, and then I'd ask for your response. So, go ahead, tell me, shout at the screen, what do you think aller means? Yes or no, depending on what your answer is. Aller means to go. So here's some sentences right here in French on the side. J'aime aller au parc. Je vais regarder Netflix. Et tu vas faire du yoga. Okay, so have a quick think again. Another quick chat with your partner, with your dog, or your cat, whoever's next to you. What do you think each of those sentences mean? How would you translate them into English? Okay, so if you still need a bit more time, go ahead, pause the video. Let's have a look at this first one. J'aime aller au parc. I like to go to the park. Excellent. So here's aller, to go. Je vais regarder Netflix. I'm going to watch Netflix. So quite often we've used this one a lot when on Fridays, we talk about what we're going to do at the weekend. Hint, hint, that's where we're going to be going this Friday. And the last one down here, tu vas faire du yoga. Are you going to do yoga? Excellent. And then faire du yoga was something that we saw last week when we looked at the verb faire. Okay, so that's what aller means. I'm going to turn my pointer on. And I'm just going to flip back 1 second. So as you can see, as we use aller, this verb right here, je vais, doesn't actually look anything like the original verb aller up here. So we're going to look at what that means. And right down here, we have two va. Va and ve look different even to each other. There's some similarities, but both of these are very different to what aller looks like up here. So if you remember last week when we looked at faire, aller and faire are both what we call an irregular verb. So when you're using it, when you are using it or recognizing it, it has its own unique pattern of conjugations. So you just need to memorize the conjugations. The best way of memorizing and learning something is by lots of practice. And especially when it comes to language, it's just to use it, to see it. So when we do our lecture learning and we do lots of reading in class, when you're listening to me talking every day in class, we always use this verb. Aller is very, very common, so it's super important to learn at French 1. Okay, so it is irregular, but some of it you'll be familiar with. So let's have a look at the table of conjugations. Conjugation means the changes the verb makes for aller. So right here we have je vais, tu vas, il, elles, on va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont ou elles vont. Okay, so feel free to repeat after me. You can go back and rewind and repeat those as you need to. Pause the video, copy this down. I'm going to run through it one more time, and I want you to just see right here, this box right here is a slightly different color. So look at these verbs here. Allons and aller are probably the easiest looking ones because they look very similar to the original verb aller. Whereas these ones all start with a V. Va, va, vont. That's why we have to just learn and practice with it. Realistically, especially at French 1, you're going to use this one the most. Je vais, je vais. That's our little babies, but very egocentric, and we always talk about je, je, je. It's perfectly fine. You're also going to see a lot of these, especially when you're reading your books during lecture lundi, and you're probably going to see this one too, tu vas, because when I ask you questions, and when I write my questions to you and we see them, you're going to be most familiar with these first three right here. But you should also just be able to recognize these, and if you need to, or you feel confident to take it beyond these first three and practice with these, then that would be awesome too. Okay, so I'm going to run through it one more time. Je vais, tu vas, il va, nous allons, vous allez, ils vont. So if you need a recap on what each of these mean, je, tu, il, elle, on, nous, vous, ils, elles, then go ahead and watch the video from last week on FR, because I spent a little bit more time breaking down what those subject pronouns mean. Okay, and finally, right here at the bottom, we've got a couple of sentences to put those into context. So, je vais au restaurant avec mes amis. Well, not right now, we're not doing that during COVID-19. Je vais au restaurant avec mes amis. And the second one, you can see how we put vous into a question. So tu and vous, quite often you're going to see them as a question. Est-ce que vous allez au cinéma? Est-ce que vous allez au cinéma? And again, something which most of us are going to be saying no to right now, because during COVID-19, there is no movie theatre. Okay, so I'm going to go through this one a little more quickly, making it negative. So if you are putting a sentence from a positive statement, I'm going to do something, or I am doing something, into the negative, not, then we need ne pas. So I'm going to give you a sentence, and can you change the sentence from a positive statement to a negative statement by placing ne pas around the verb aller? Okay, so here's your statement, your positive statement. Elle va jouer au volleyball. Elle va jouer au volleyball. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video, see if you can write that sentence out again, but make it negative. Put ne pas around the verb. Okay, once you've done that, this should be your answer. Elle ne va pas jouer au volleyball. Elle ne va pas jouer au volley. So using a negative statement is not always like essential for you to do, but definitely if you're familiar with constructing a straightforward sentence by now, you should be practicing with using the negative, because it just gives you a wider range of things to say, especially if you feel like I'm kind of limited because all of the verbs we're talking about, I don't do any of that stuff, then use the negative to tell me, okay? So the next thing we're going to look at is how we can use aller to indicate the future. And in French grammar terms, we call this the future proche. There is another future tense that we don't usually get to till third year French. But the most common one that you've been using already in French 1, is the futur proche. So we can make the future because aller means to go. But in English, the translation can have two meanings. So let's take this sentence right here. Il va au lac avec un ami. Now I want you to pause the video, turn to your friend, and have a think, what does that sentence mean? There's two ways that we could translate that into English. How would you translate it? What does that mean? Okay, so when you're ready, we will have a look at the two meanings that we could get from that. We could either say he goes to the lake with a friend, or we could translate it as he is going to the lake. He's going to the lake with a friend. Both ways are perfectly fine, and in French, this one way, il va au lac, means both in English. So actually, the French is a little simpler when it comes to using the verb aller. Il va au lac means both, and it doesn't really matter. But if we look now for using the future tense at this last one, if we use the second translation, that's how we can talk about things that we are going to do, and that's the future event. And we've done this a lot when we've talked about on Fridays, when we talk about the weekend, what we are going to do at the weekend. So to construct a going to sentence, we need to use aller plus an infinitive verb to talk about something that is going to happen in the near future. So this is a little bit of grammar. This is breaking down something that you can already do. So you might find this a little bit confusing, but then when you see the sentences, you're like, oh yeah, I know how to do that. You know how to do it, you just don't know that this is what it's called. So over here, I want you to have a start thinking about infinitive verbs. Now an infinitive verb, and you can write this down, pause at any point you need to recap or to make notes. But an infinitive verb is a verb that has to in front of it, like in English to go, to eat, to watch, to play, to drink, to sleep. So all of those infinitive verbs with to in front of it, that's what we mean by infinitive. So you can pause now, or you can keep going. I want you to think of as many infinitive verbs that you already know in French. And you can make a list. That could be really useful. Just like on the slide, make a list down one side of all your infinitive verbs. So mine that I thought of were faire. We did faire last week. Manger, jouer, écouter, regarder, lire, dessiner. So these are all infinitive, and quite often you can in English we know it's an infinitive because we say to something. But in French, usually it ends in er or re, and there are some that end in ir, but I don't have any on here in this list. Okay, so if you want to make the future tense, you've got to take aller plus an infinitive verb from your list. So for example, we could have je vais travailler. I'm going to work. Je vais travailler. Nous allons étudier l'anglais. Nous allons, we are going to study English. Tu vas regarder Tiger King? Tu vas, are you going or you're going to watch Tiger King? So we can make our questions very simple with just tu vas. And the last one, let's see if that bar can go away. Ils ne vont pas faire les devoirs. Ils ne vont pas faire les devoirs. That's the longest, the hardest one. But ils vont is they're going. And so I put in a negative here. They're not going to do homework. They are not going to do homework. Ils ne vont pas faire les devoirs. Okay, so here are just some examples. This is the one that you're probably most familiar with. Je vais travailler, je vais manger, je vais dormir, je vais regarder Netflix, je vais dessiner, je vais jouer aux jeux vidéo. All of those you're very used to practicing. That's fantastic. You can happily stay right there. But in your notes, I want you to also include these so that you can come back to them. And if you're doing a free write, or if you're doing the end of this, you'll do your quick quiz, or whatever you're doing, you're practicing and extending and challenging yourself a little bit further to use a little bit more French, but they follow the same pattern. Okay, so let's practice. We're going to do this one together, and then we will finish with the quick quiz. Okay, so just a few minutes away. So I want you to use your table, use your notes right now to fill in the gaps with the verb. All of these are going to have the verb aller in. So I want you to go through and I will read it to you, and then you can just write down on your page 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then just put the word that you're putting in. You don't have to write out the whole sentence, but you do have the time to do that. So, I mean, it would be better to, but you don't absolutely have to. Okay. Je ne pas au lycée aujourd'hui. So which conjugation of aller goes with je? On parlait en français. Emmanuel et Catherine écoutaient la musique classique. So you got to think a little bit more carefully. What's the subject for Emmanuel et Catherine? Two people, Emmanuel et Catherine. Est-ce que tu mangeais la glace au chocolat ou à la vanille? Est-ce que tu mangeais la glace au chocolat ou à la vanille? Okay, so go ahead, you can pause the video, have a little think and write down your answers, and then when you unpause, I'll show you the answers myself. Okay, so let's go through the answers. So pour numéro 1, la réponse c'est « Je ne vais pas au lycée aujourd'hui ». Je ne vais pas au lycée aujourd'hui. Oui, I don't go to high school today. I'm not going to school today. Oui, c'est vrai. Numéro 2, on va parler en français. On va parler en français. And I use this subject because we don't use this a lot, but the French do. On means one, or people in general, or a they. So are we going to speak French, or does one speak French? Is one going to speak French? Numéro 3, Emmanuel et Catherine vont écouter la musique classique. So Emmanuel and Catherine are going to listen to classical music. Vont. So this, Emmanuel et Catherine, two people, that would be like the subject pronoun ils. ILS, they. Okay, la dernière question, numéro 4. Est-ce que tu vas manger la glace au chocolat ou à la vanille? Est-ce que tu vas? Are you going to eat chocolate ice cream or vanilla ice cream? Voilà. Okay, so if any of this you need to pause, go back through, be my guest. But right now we've come to the end of our in-depth study of ALLER, and we're going to wrap it up with a quick quiz. So you can continue to complete this on paper, take a picture and post it on the discussion or email me. Or if you do it on paper and you just want to type it real quick into the discussion, you can do that as well. Either way, as long as I get your quick quiz answers, then I know that you've completed this activity for today and how well you've done, etc. And I can give you credit for what you do today. Okay? So let's go. The quick quiz, il y a 10. Il y a 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 questions en français, 10 phrases en français. And then you've got to say vrai ou faux, B ou F. Vrai ou faux, and you're not saying about whether it's vrai or faux for me or for you or whatever. The vrai or faux is whether the sentence makes sense. Like, is it right? Is it accurate for the grammar? So, vrai is yes, it's right, it's correct, and faux is no, there's a mistake in that sentence. On y go. Alors, numéro 1. Je vais vomir. Vrai ou faux? Je vais vomir. Numéro 2. Il va au travail. Il va au travail. Vrai ou faux? Numéro 3. Nous faisons à la bibliothèque. Nous faisons à la bibliothèque. Vrai ou faux? Tu vas manger le chien. Tu vas manger le chien. Vrai ou faux? Now remember, it's about whether the sentence, the question is correct in the sentence of its grammar, not whether it's right or wrong for you. Numéro 5. Vous allez à la montagne? Vous allez à la montagne? Numéro 6. Elles vont sortir la poubelle. Elles vont sortir la poubelle. Numéro 7. J'allons jouer aux jeux vidéo. J'allons jouer aux jeux vidéo. Vrai ou faux? Numéro 8. Je ne pas va porter une robe. Je ne pas va porter une robe. I think even the way I read that tells you if it's vrai ou faux. Numéro 9. Anna adore aller à Walmart. Anna adore aller à Walmart. Vrai ou faux? Et la dernière question, numéro 10. Moi et Joshua allons aller au jardin. Moi et Joshua allons aller au jardin. So I saved the hardest for last. Moi et Joshua, so think about that pronoun. Moi et Joshua allons aller au jardin. Vrai ou faux? Okay, c'est fini. Don't forget to share your answers with me from the quick quiz. It's okay if you did it on paper, wonderful, but if it just stays on paper and I don't know that you did it, I can't give you credit for what you did today. So share it with me. Use this video, go back through if you need to, keep a hold of your notes, do not throw them away, especially if you are going on to do French 2. You will need them even for next year. It's super useful. Okay, merci, au revoir, à la prochaine.